Hi everyone, I'm Craig Williams. I'm the course coordinator for Life on Earth A, and I wanted to take just a couple of minutes to tell you a little bit about the course and how it's going to run. It runs in study period 1, so in effect it's a summer school, but it runs a little bit differently to a lot of traditional courses. Let me tell you about Life on Earth A. First of all, it's partially online and partially face-to-face. The face-to-face component is what appears in your timetables and are the classes in which you are enrolled. But the actual course itself is a 10-week course which spans most of study period 1, running this year from the 8th of January to the 16th of March. So that's the actual teaching period window. Now, as I mentioned before, it's a blended delivery mode, so it's a mixture of online and face-to-face. Now, the online teaching happens essentially whenever you want it to happen, pretty much. That's the flexibility of it. You don't have to turn up. You can do it from home. You can do it 3 in the morning if that's when you're up, or at another time that's convenient for you. Although we will be having virtual classrooms each week at a time to be negotiated with you. Now, there are face-to-face components. First is the introductory workshop on the 15th of January, and then there's a week, an intensive practical week from the 19th to the 23rd of February. And that's a really important week because that is basically every day you come in just for that whole week, morning and afternoon, with a break in the middle. You'll be doing practicals, and at the end of that there's a practical test. So that's a really important week, a face-to-face week. But the rest of the time you can essentially do through your own self-managed pacing. That is, there'll be tasks each week posted online, lectures to watch, tutorials to do, etc. And then there's a virtual classroom each week. But then you can contact teaching staff at any time to maintain contact in a mode that works for you. So hopefully that people find this a fairly flexible delivery. Now, unfortunately, with this kind of flexible delivery mode where there's not classes necessarily every week at the same time, people wonder what to do. So basically, what you have to do each week is you have to watch. So that's watch the lectures. Okay, so they're pre-recorded, they're ready to go on the Learn Online site. You have to write, so that might be writing your own notes, keeping your own kind of learning journal, as it were, about the material, because it's all examinable at the end. We'll get to that. But also there are tutorials. So these are online, and there are only 5 of them, and they're due midway through the study period. So there's some writing each week, there's some watching and listening each week, and of course there's speaking each week. There's a virtual classroom, so live, online, virtual classroom with myself each week, in which we'll go through material, answer tutorial questions, and discuss the topics of the day. So how do you get grades for this course? Well, here's the breakdown. The tutorials, I said there were 5, and they're due around the middle of the study period. They're worth 20%. The prac test, which is at the end of that intensive prac week in February, worth 15%. Now, there's a big practical task you have to do on your own time. Well, I suppose it counts as course time, and that's the phylum collection. That's worth 35%. And I'll show you an example of that in a moment. And the exam itself worth 30%. Phylum collection, essentially you make your own collection of invertebrate animals. So here's a really good one from last year. Okay, so this is previous students, okay, and essentially she's got a box of really cool invertebrate animals, all sorts of things. Oh yeah, looks like a crab there, various insects and so forth. So there are a number of clam. So you have to make your own collection. You have to identify the animals. It's a really great experience. There's a secondary option for this task as well. You still have to collect animals, but instead you make videos of them. But we'll talk more about that as the course progresses. Now, final exam, it is worth 30%. It's going to be on Friday, the 23rd of March. It'll be just held here at City East Campus. And we'll just examine you on anything covered in the course. Course outline. you get these for every course. Do read it, print it out or whatever, make sure you've got this thing. Have a look, read it through. It's got everything about all the assessments, but we'll talk about that, of course, in the first face-to-face session and the virtual classrooms. At the back, the course calendar is your friend guiding you through what we're covering every single week and when everything is due. So make sure you have a look at that. So I look forward to working with you this study period on Life on Earth A and to seeing you all face-to-face and online.